Perfect.
Roundhouse kicks are easily one of the most prominent kicks in all of martial arts. Pretty much every style throws roundhouse kicks because it's super simple, it's easy to put power behind it, and body mechanics are not super difficult. But also, every martial arts style throws it a little bit different. Today we're going to talk about 3 different variations of the roundhouse kick. One for power, one for speed, and then one somewhere in between, okay? We're going to talk about Muay Thai, Taekwondo, and Karate roundhouse kicks. I'm going to have my old Taekwondo and my Muay Thai instructors teach their version of the roundhouse kick, and then at the end of the video, I'll teach my Karate version of the roundhouse kick, obviously superior in every single way. I want you to pay attention to each small detail that each different variation has, and think about how you can apply it to your next roundhouse kick. Ready? Let's get into it. All right. What's up? Hey, how you doing? Jonathan, how are you? Good to see you again. Today we are going to do some Taekwondo with my old Taekwondo instructor. Teach me like you would teach Neanderthal or something, because that's kind of what I do.
So when we are in Taekwondo, when we're focused on a roundhouse kick, we focus on a straight delivery, meaning the fastest way between 2 points is a straight line, A to B. So I want to line up, making sure my back leg is in line with my target. And when I deliver, it's all about me getting to that target as quickly as possible before I turn my hip over and I let the kick go. So one more time, knees in, turn my hip over so my knee goes inside, then a nice snap for my delivery for my roundhouse kick.
Dang. Okay, so what's really cool immediately on the difference between the Taekwondo and the Karate is you guys turn it over at the very end.
Yes, sir. We are sparring, because Taekwondo is an Olympic sport, right?
Yeah.
So if we're sparring, you have your guard up here, then a lot of times the opening is going to be right underneath the arm, in between the arm and the body.
Okay.
So if I come around this way, then most likely I'm going to get stopped before I get my point on the hogu or the chest gear.
Right.
So instead I want to come up and turn it over in the last second to see if I can split the gap between the arm and the side.
Very sneaky. Very, very sneaky, sir. Okay. You teach me how to make it look as Taekwondo as possible. Okay? So what angle am I looking for here after here?
So from there, turn down all the way over, try to think 90 degrees in.
All the way this way?
Yes.
Okay. So here, and then
Exactly. Yes. Nice and loose.
good.
Yeah.
Now your rechamber. What does your rechamber look like?
So the focus on the chamber when we bring the leg up is closing your heel to your butt as tightly as you can. So it's like a spring. I'm loading my spring, then I relax my muscle. It's going to snap out and want to come right back down.
Okay.
So that way, if I land my first kick, boom, I'm going to be rechambered and I can kick again.
You're rechambered between you and the target.
Yes,
Gotcha.
sir. Nice. Beautiful.
It feels a little bit like a question mark kick. A touch.
Yeah, exactly. After I kick, I am never going to put this foot down inside of your range.
Okay, gotcha.
So if I hit one, if you move back, I can put it down. Otherwise, I might push off, make my space, and then put it down.
Gotcha.
So it all determines.
Yeah, right. The space. When you're teaching it to like a classroom, are you going bang and then right back?
Usually stepping forward.
Stepping forward.
Yeah, so landing forward so they learn to put the weight behind the kick.
Yeah, right.
And not lean back while they're kicking.
Okay, so you guys are like good at kicking.
We do it a lot.
You do a lot of kicking. Now, if you were to do it with the front foot,
Yes.
how do you teach a front leg roundhouse kick? Do you throw front leg roundhouse?
Yes.
Yes.
Quite a bit in Taekwondo, sparring especially. So we have two options. One is going to be the offensive, where I'm the one closing the distance. If I'm the one closing the distance, I might shuffle my back leg, assuming I have enough space, and then launch that front leg, boom, this way. The defensive one, it would be reacting to your coming in. So if you come in, instead of shuffling in because I have no space or time, I just pick that front leg up, and then right away, just flip that kick right up there.
Gotcha. That's very similar to ours, where it's bang. Now, but what's cool is to see the shuffle. So you guys come here because it gets the body away too, right?
Yes, exactly. So, but again, you never want to close the distance with your body without having a leg up. So again, you need an ample amount of space so that when I'm in this position, I'm still out of range.
Right.
And by the time I'm in range, knees up and inside between the two of us. So kind of like the old Bruce Lee sliding side kick.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, right, okay.
Sure. So from here, skipping in.
Really cool in that his hips are doing is he's going, as he's stepping in, his right hip is moving forward a bit, and then his left one is coming back in. I think. A little bit, is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's almost kind of like throwing a double or a jumping roundhouse.
Yeah,
kick,
right.
But you're not over rotating, just getting a little bit to make power with that hip.
Yeah, right.
As you turn it in.
Even if it's like the smallest amount, everything with the lead leg has to be about this coming this way just a touch, and then back.
Yes, sir.
Because you can't just go bang to it. I mean, some people can. Yeah, some people are
You got a big,
strong
nice, strong leg.
Yeah, right. So it's bang, and then put it back. And if I'm really trying to cover ground, are you stepping here, or are you trying to step and replace?
So you would actually land. So if you can see where my foot is starting, my back leg should land ahead of it.
Ahead of it, okay.
So this is really being aggressive.
Brand new. Well, I guess not if I was brand new. If you were teaching me, a brand new student, how would you teach the Muay Thai, we'll go rear roundhouse?
Okay. It would take me a while. It's one of those things that there's a lot of steps. There's a V coming off my hips here, right? So I like to be able to step on that V in either direction. It does a couple things. It allows me to step and be able to pivot and get my hip through. It also gets me out of the way. If I'm looking at his shoulders, this pyramid here, or this V on my side, I'm stepping outside of the punch and I'm able to land this kick. I just want to be on the ball of my foot, that way I can pivot hard through. You'll see a lot of guys that bring this kick way out this way. Not extremely necessary, and when you're actually fighting, you don't want to have these big wide movements. It's just much easier for guys to check these things. Sure. So I want it to come, the trajectory here is kind of up and through at the end, and I turn my kick at the end.
So on the way forwards, are you going pretty
straight, pretty much exactly
something
like
like
that.
this?
Yep, it comes straight and through.
Okay.
So body kick is my favorite kick to throw. So if I'm gonna throw the body kick, I like to get the bag. If you're gonna work this on the bag, just get the bag moving. Get the bag moving. Then you take your step, kick. Eventually, you should be able to throw this kick and just hang out here with good balance. That's not gonna happen at first. But that's where your balance point, you wanna have that balance point that you can throw your kick hard and stay relaxed at the end. So you can retract that kick if they try to catch it or whatever.
Yeah.
Big thing is just taking that 45-degree step, being on the ball of this foot. I want to push off the ground. I want to use the ground for momentum. The more violent I am with here, the more power I'm going to have, the more my hip's going to turn this way.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to throw this. Take my step out, come back to my stance. This hand stays up for defense, right? So I'm here, take a step, kick, back. Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're swinging that arm and coming back. Nice and relaxed. This isn't the end, right?
Yeah.
Right. I can't be stuck here. I got to be able to,
Yeah.
kick, boom, whatever afterwards.
It's my understanding, like you were trying to, not only are you stepping here, this kick is also coming in this direction.
Correct.
So you're trying to drive them this way.
Yeah, I want to kick
entirely.
I want my kick to come through their body. Okay. Chop them in half. My momentum will take them
Like
all
a
the way over
diagonal.
here. Yeah.
Because
exactly.
point system, knocking somebody off balance is huge.
Huge. Yeah, exactly. If I kick me, I block strong, no points. I kick you and I knock you off your base.
Even if you block it.
Right.
Gotcha.
It's called perceived effect.
So I'm going here, and then keeping it relatively in the same spot.
Right.
Pulling this arm back.
Once you take that step out of danger, then you can you're going to push off the ground, keep the leg straight. Yeah, there you go, swing the arm. As long as the other hand's up for defense, it's really how can you generate the most force effectively with the quickest, you know.
Yeah, right.
from
Like
an A to
having
B.
that good in between.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
I don't care that you could break this down in a million different ways, but as long as you're stepping and you're able to pivot and your hip is turning and making strong contact.
Am I coming up?
Yep.
Or
So it's up and in.
up and in at the last
and
second.
in. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a powerful kick. Yep. Now take your step. Step, kick. There you go. That was good. Good, that's it. Nice.
Okay,
Good
cool.
control on the end too, so not keeping your leg straight on the end, that's good. You're kicking.
Awesome.
And you should be able to kick and block right away, right? That's what you want to eventually get to.
Okay, so switch kick with this front leg.
Yes. The
Now-
most difficult one.
Right, now, yeah, right, definitely. Now, karate, I would just pick this leg up and
Right.
throw it.
Right.
But because the stances are different,
Right.
we're going to have a different option, which is why the switch kick is so important, right?
And it is, it's the exact same kick. It just
Yeah.
comes from the lead side. Our switch kick, I mean, sometimes you're going to step, sometimes we do just pick it up to
Yeah.
touch, right?
Yeah, right.
If I'm going to switch, I think about that same exact V formation here. My foot switches, and I'm on that V. Now, what I don't want to do is when I switch to come to my opponent too far.
Yeah.
I want to switch in places and maintain my kick range. So it's just here. You see guys do this a lot when they're faking.
Right.
Boom. I'm just simulating that step. It doesn't have to be this big step and kick.
Yeah,
It's just-
right.
If you watch me kick, it's just a little small shuffle. I'm here, just relax, switch, and I come back to my stance.
Yeah, right.
I can throw my switch kick, land in my stance. I can throw my switch kick and come back here, or I can throw my switch kick like I'm doing on the bag. Take my switch, kick, back.
Good.
Okay? So it's essentially the same exact movement pattern.
Right, yeah.
You just have to switch.
Just the difference is you
Yeah.
switch before.
Right.
Okay.
Switch it on that 45-degree angle. Yeah, good. It's like you've done this before. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Nice and relax. Little switch. Good. There you go. Switch. Yeah, there you go. Then go here. Pull it back and then come back home.
Yeah, right. Okay, so a lot of the time when you're taught like a traditional karate or taekwondo class, you're not taught on a bag. You're taught on air because we want you to work on control. So when I teach a roundhouse kick on air, I teach the roundhouse kick, turn the body, point the knee at your target. Now your knee is going to start turning around like a baseball bat and you're going to pivot on your toes. This is nothing abnormal. The knee and the chamber, I think, is what's different than Muay Thai and Taekwondo. In Muay Thai, the knee stays bent the whole time with like a slight, it kind of looks like this, right? I'm coming around like this. Bang. There's a little extension at the end, but a lot of the movement is with the hip. It's a big emphasis on the hip and shoving it forwards. Now, with Taekwondo, they point it directly at you, boom, and then turn it over at the last second. Bang. Okay, so they think about throwing that knee up there and going boop, 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 and then turning it over at the last second. Now, karate's somewhere in between, where I'm going like this. Boom, bang, and then we teach it to bring it right back. So our roundhouse kick looks like this. Bah, and you bring it back. So it should look something like this, where I'm trying to bring it back. Now obviously there's different types of karate. There's like the point karate where you're out here and your feet are really wide, which is like also kickboxing-esque karate movements. And then there's like the Kyokushin, where it's here. So like there's different types of karate, there's different types of roundhouse kicks for each style of karate. But the super basic one that everybody learns in karate class is this traditional boom, turning it all at the same time, extend, pull it back. Now, ideally, we don't actually extend right here, because then it turns into just a flick. You start to extend it further back here, bang. So you have that flick that goes into it. So it goes turn, 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 extend, and then either you put it down based off of where they are, just like David Wright said. So here, now, I've kind of gotten used to chambering with like here and putting it back Muay Thai style. I'm trying to work through that for this video so you can see the difference. But I hit a little bit more with the foot for karate because I like I like that extension. And before you say hitting with the foot is dangerous for you, if you suck at it, yes, absolutely. Just like base jumping is dangerous for you. I've never had an injury because of kicking someone with my foot, hitting a bag with my foot. I've never had one foot injury because of it. Ever. Except for like spinning wheel kicks. That's the only time. And that's because as you get used to it, you learn how to flex, and then also you get some man legs, you know what I mean? But out here, being able to hit with the foot, now we teach hitting with the shin, but because we're karate, we're a little bit further away and it tends to happen more. A little bit more of the sideways angle with the knee coming in, bang, but the chamber is just as tight as the Taekwondo. Looks like that. Where Muay Thai looks like this. Taekwondo looks like this. Because it goes like this, knee, 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 and then it turns over at the end. Where karate's tight chamber, but the leg is sideways. Boom, boom. I like to use the arm because I think the arm's a good way to look at it. Like this is a leg. So to bring it all together, think about this as a leg. Taekwondo goes like this. It goes up tight, the knee is high, the leg is tight in the chamber, then it turns over and extends at the last second, so that shin goes side to side. Boom, boom. Muay Thai keeps that leg a little bit more locked out like this. And they use it more like a baseball bat. Whack. Okay? Right? And they're throwing the hips into a little bit more. Putting more body into it. Now, karate's somewhere in between, where it wants to put body into it, but it also wants to have a chamber that holds beforehand, and then extends at the last second. The difference is, the knee is already sideways as it comes around, so it goes like this. Boom, rather than up to over. We're not as worried about the speed, because it's not pop, 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 pop. It was a traditional style. Karate in a lot of ways is a very hard-earned style, so it's not quite like Taekwondo, or at least sport Taekwondo is. Obviously point karate is more based off of speed, and they probably had that knee come a little bit more towards them first. But it's somewhere in between a Muay Thai and Taekwondo when it comes to what it's trying to do. Is it trying to break somebody's ribs? Bang! Or is it trying to touch them? Now with the front leg, it depends on what you're trying to do, or what your stance is. If my stance is like this, and I'm a karate guy who keeps the feet a little bit more forwards, like Kyokushin, the front leg is probably going to be a little bit more like this, bang, or come more straight up, because that's what they're doing. Now it might still turn over at the end, but my favorite front leg roundhouse kick goes like this, super simple. I hit with the foot, I'm sliding with the back leg, my hip goes like this. Look at this circle right here. Okay, so I'm here like this is Wonder Boy kills this. Ready? Boom. Now, keeping the hips slightly inside of the foot, driving these hips forwards, and going side to side like this. Boom, bang. That's that front leg roundhouse kick. So that's what it looks like when roundhouse worlds collide. You put the water into the cup, it becomes the cup. You put the water in the bottle, it becomes the bottle. Water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Pretty much what I'm saying is use every style. Implement different things that work based off of your current situation. Got it? Let's go. Subscribe or I'll roundhouse kick you. Wow!